Is there anybody? Thank you. So by staying in this meeting, you consent to be being recorded. Great. Are there any agenda changes?
No.
Jill?
Not changes, but I want to speak briefly later for speaking. Yeah.
Remember speak. Okay.
Yep.
So I have a very brief chair's report, just because we are trying to, we're on the heels of 2 meetings here, but being June, I just wanted to, I know we have done it, so I just would like to recognize that this is Jan's last meeting and recognize that this is possibly Tom's last meeting with us. And we've said everything I'm sure that we need to say, and we probably could come up with more things, but just wanted to make sure we sat in this moment for one short moment and appreciated them once again.
Oh, we thank you, right, Tom?
Absolutely.
We love being appreciated.
I also just wanted to say a quick, I do not have a list, so I'm not going to mention names, but I just wanted to appreciate anybody from our elementary school staff who might be retiring this year. I know it's been mentioned here and there, but I just wanted to officially thank and appreciate all our staff for their hard work. Martha is waiting to be let in. Rebecca, can you do that? Rebecca, can you hear me? Okay. Arlen, is there anybody who in the background could get a email to Rebecca? How do we, maybe she's.
I can do that.
Okay, great. I'm just gonna continue on. Lastly, so just again, appreciating the retirees, but also all our staff for the incredible work they did this year in making this pandemic year almost seamless, right? We got them into school. They really seemed to have a delightful year. And then we got to witness everything that the teachers did to make it possible for continuous learning. So that was just amazing. So.
I sent
Yeah.
the email.
Okay, and is somebody a co-host? Do you remember last time when we ran into a predicament? Somebody was.
John, please.
Oh, there she goes. Okay. Hi, Martha.
I'm trying to silence my dog and my husband.
Okay. We we have that meeting right on the heels. So I've just finished up my chair report and I'm going to be asking for members speak. Jill.
For time brevity, I was going to say things similar to you, but it's just wonderful staff, wonderful administrators, and just thank you all. And Tom, especially, you know, you're going to be missed. And I've always, you know, been in awe of your passion for learning, you know, lifelong learning, you embody it. And your enthusiasm and your energy. And I wish I could say more, but I am concerned too about time efficiencies. One thing different that I wanted to add that's time related, time sensitive. If anybody wants to go to the mass conference, I know we'll save money if before July 15th. Arlen, if you could make note of that. If we put our deposits in, or however it works, if we commit before July 15th for each person that goes to the mass conference, we save $150. So I think that we can tease out at another time exactly who's going to go. But in the past, we've gone for 2 individuals to go there. So I say that for another meeting to have on the agenda, who's going to be a delegate. But for right now, to work it out, I mean, not us right now, but for Arlen or whoever in the central office would be paying for it before July 15th.
Great idea.
Thank you, Jill. Any other members? Okay, and citizens speak? Martha?
I'm sorry, I did not hear, I don't know why I wasn't let on, but I'm sorry I missed your speech. And I echo everything that I am imagining that Betsy said. I do wonder what the answer was about a co-host, Betsy. I didn't hear that.
I don't think we figured it. I was just asking that question when I saw you come in, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. That can be something else we can do, maybe behind the scenes for later. All right, let's move into priority business, and we will start with Mary Beth Rodman's report.
Hello, everyone. I don't have any additional items to add. I didn't know if anyone had any questions regarding my report. It looks like we might be up to 110 kiddos next fall, which is really exciting.
Wow.
Yes.
And welcome to so many new teachers.
Yes. So the PTA had a staff appreciation afternoon last Friday, and the new teachers came. So it was great to be able to introduce the new staff to our current staff, and to be able to meet the people who are retiring or who have resigned. So it was a great evening.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, any comments or questions for Mary Beth? All right, moving on to Tom's superintendent report.
So we've been spending a great deal of time over the last couple of weeks, particularly Alan and Carol and others, on getting the contracts ready to bring in front of everyone tonight. And we're hopeful that things go very, very well there, of course. And I have made an effort to be in each of the schools over the last 2 weeks. And as always, everybody's working hard and really focused on getting as much learning done as they can. And we love that approach this year, of course. And I did attend the high school graduation this weekend, and it was amazingly beautiful. It was much smaller. It was basically the parents and their nearest friends, and I'd say probably 300 to 400 people, and it was just lovely. So made me feel like we're getting back closer to what is the so-called normal. And I am also focused on Brooke is coming tomorrow, the new interim superintendent. And tomorrow's work will be, I asked her to bring down any and all questions that she has so we can work on her questions. And I've got I started out the top 5 issues that she'll be dealing with, and it's up to the top 8. So I think I'll stop there, but I think that's going to help her a great deal to understand some really important initiatives that we have in the district going. And we're just going to keep pushing ahead here with Giovanna and getting our numbers straight for finishing up the fiscal year, and where we can find some savings and possibly a little bit of spend down throughout the district. So thank you very much.
Okay. Anyone with comments or questions for Tom? All right. We are going to move into our school improvement plan presentation.
I am going to attempt to share the PowerPoint. Okay. I did send it to everybody, or I sent it to Arlen to share with everyone. I don't typically work on Zoom. I work in Google Meet. So this is going to be new for me trying to share. So if I'm not successful, at least you have a hard copy.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I already don't see it.
Should be at the bottom.
Yeah, I think it's my computer. I really do.
Oh, are you on an iPad or on your?
No, I'm on my computer. Let me go into my Google Drive. Is there any way you can see this?
We don't see anything yet.
No.
Did you click on the green share screen button on the bottom?
I did, and I already have it opened in another tab. And
Possible that because you're not the host, you don't have screens
It
sharing?
would tell her, it would say that she can't share.
So when you
try
hit
something else.
share screen,
We're seeing it.
No, that's,
Now,
no,
yeah, so go to your other tab. Go to your tab up the top. If you click on it, we should be able to see it.
yep, I can see it.
you can see it?
It's there. It's there.
Oh, shrink.
Yay! All right, let me see if I can get it into presentation mode. Can you see it?
And nice
Yay.
job.
Yay! Thanks, everyone. Okay, I wrote some notes down for each of the slides, okay? So I want to thank the Wellfleet School Council who guided me in developing the new 3-year school improvement plan. Our SIP, as we call it, the goals align with the NOSIT strategic plan goals. The SIP content demonstrates WES's dedication to teaching 21st century skills, developing students' cognitive, interpersonal, and intrapersonal competencies that are fundamental to global citizenship and support for all students' social emotional learning. Students need 21st century skills in critical thinking, problem solving, teamwork, and creativity. These skills are difficult to teach and learn. However, research suggests 9 pedagogical teaching practices that help in teaching these skills. Those include make learning relevant, teach through the disciplines, develop lower and higher order thinking skills, encourage transfer of learning, metacognition, address misunderstandings directly, promote teamwork as a process and an outcome, use technology to support learning, and foster students' creativity. 21st century skills are 12 abilities that today's students need to succeed in the careers during the informational age. The 12 abilities are categorized in 3 skill areas: learning, literacy, and life skills. Learning skills are competencies in critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. Competencies in these skills support students' development and mental processes needed to adapt and improve in a modern work environment. Literacy skills include information literacy, media literacy, and technology literacy. These skills focus on how students discern facts from publishing outlets and the tech behind them so that they can identify trustworthy sources and factual information. And life skills. Students will learn and practice flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and effective social skills. Global schools provide opportunities to build cultural competencies, cultural responsiveness, and skills needed to thrive and contribute in our interconnected world. This goal requires changes or improvements to curriculum, practices, professional development, and school culture. As a district, we will address multicultural content and nurture students' capacity for critical thinking about the world, bring a global lens to best practices that embraces global citizenship and cultural awareness, and ensure our school conveys global and inclusive values, cultural competence, and diversity. WES will continue to integrate social emotional learning across the curriculum. Self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship skills are the foundations of healthy social relationships and positive academic achievements. Educators will require focused professional development to help students develop the complex 21st century skills that, again, are challenging to teach and learn, and global awareness that they need to succeed. Research shows that schools that partner with their communities increase students' academic and social emotional learning. And here you can see that the 5 goals are interdependent, and this information actually comes from the NOSSIT strategic plan. That goals 1, 2, and 3 are included in a focus on project-based learning or social learning or service learning. There are different ways to sort of encompass that type of learning that empowers students to be actively engaged. Goals 3 and 4 stress the importance of working with our families and our community. And goal 4 supports the PD that the staff and educators need in order to provide the excellent teaching that we currently do. The end. Am I still sharing?
No, you did great.
Okay.
I see Jan's hand up. Jan?
Right, Jan.
Because I want to ask a general question, Mary
Certainly.
Beth. That is an incredible piece of work.
Thank you.
And I want to know who all contributed to that.
Mhm.
Was it corollary with other elementary
No,
schools in
it
our
was-
district, or?
It was the school council.
Yeah.
So
but-
we took each of the goals each time that we met.
yeah.
And then our last meeting was to edit the slides. I did some more editing after. So that was, Martha was on it as our liaison, Jennifer Shoemaker, who's currently our grade 2 teacher, Barbara Boone, who is a parent and community member, and Mike Trukanian, who is a community member.
And so it was done independent from Eastham and Orleans and
Correct. Each school creates their own.
their own. Is
So
there?
Brewster has theirs posted already.
Well, I wonder if there's some benefit in before passing this and before accepting this in comparing with what others have produced. I don't know. It is an incredibly good body of work, but I don't know what other people have done, so.
Thank you.
And Martha?
Yes, thank you, Jen, for that question. If I may, Betsy, I would like to talk just a little bit about the process that went on before that, which was the development of the strategic plan, which was the strategic plan committee took that to a particular place that we felt would be relevant for all of the schools, all of the elementary schools, as well as the regional schools, and then felt that within that framework, it was possible to hand over autonomy to each school so that the actual school improvement plan could, I am so sorry about my dog. The school improvement plan could actually reflect the culture of each of the particular schools. My guess, it's a little more than a guess. My hypothesis is that these plans will be fairly similar from school to school. I think there will be some good consistency there because of the strategic plan framework.
Mary Beth?
And just to echo that, I did talk with my elementary principal colleagues, and that was pretty much the sentiment that was shared. And each of us were on one of the goals, those committees, as this work for the NOSSIT strategic plan was being put together. And what I noticed for Brewster is they had similar content within that was really germane to their schools. And they put them still under the academic, the school climate, and the community partnerships heading, as opposed to what we did using all 5 goals. So next year, when I start to put together the principal's report, it will still be under the headings of academic because it would just be too large. And then that way, I will be able to sort of categorize the things that we're doing within the school improvement plan under those 3 headings. So theirs looks a little different than mine, but I think that the thread of similarity is there.
Jill?
I want to thank and big kudos to everybody who put work into it. In my work, I do look at strategic plans at every early learning program I go to, and I, look at a lot of them. And this is just a fantastic living document that really does, it's outstanding. It covers so much and it's so well organized, and it's a good document that is relevant and functional. And again, I'm just in awe of the great job all the stakeholders did in that.
Great.
Thank you.
Any further comments or questions for Mary Beth? Mary Beth?
Sorry, I just want to let you know that I did, after the announcement was made of the reorganization at central office, I changed it to the curriculum director instead of assistant superintendent. So, there were a couple of sort of wordsmithing corrections that I made after it was sent to Arlen. So just know that when it's published, there might be some wordsmithing differences.
Thank you. Great. Well, we appreciate your thorough presentation. And I mean, we've been kind of anticipating it for a while, so it's nice to really see the hard work come to fruition. I'm going to move us along to our FY21 expenditure report with Giovanna.
Thank you, Betsy. Let's go directly to page 9 of the report. The prior month balance was $119,726. We spent or encumbered $9,265 since last month's reporting, leaving a balance of $110,461. I'd like to advise the committee that this report has the actual amount that would be budgeted based upon the percentage that was budgeted in the reserve for negotiation. So I had Abby go back and update all of the budget line items to reflect the percentage that we use, which I won't divulge at this time pending the next meeting. And so you'll see some areas when I go through it that we have additional dollars that were put into the various line item budgets. And that's a result of updates to the amounts that were budgeted for. We still have to go back and retroactively put in any of the COLAs, any increases. So that'll be coming next time. By the time that you see it, the year will be over and we will have done the spend down plan and posted all of the salaries and the retroactive adjustments for the COLAs. But right now, a lot of the line items were changed as a result of putting in what was actually budgeted in those line items. Okay, and we still have line items that in the substitutes that if we go back and look at how much is still left in the substitute line items, we have about $18,000 remaining. We did unencumber some of the substitute line items, but the majority in the teacher and the ed assistant line item are still there. So that totals almost $18,000. Okay, and we had earmarked the use of school choice funds in the amount of $20,000, but we won't need to use those funds. So we'll leave those where they are for now and use just what's in the operating budget to look at the spend down plan later. So starting on page 1, the middle of the page, line item 4005, salaries principal. We put back into the budget $3,137 since last month's reporting, and that is due to the actual budgeted amounts that we put in each line item. The next line item is the 4006, the salary secretary. Here we put back into the budget $5,208. Line item 4009, supplies general office. We spent or encumbered $1,991 since last month's reporting, and that's all based on the current needs of the school. Moving on to page 2, at the top of the page, 4014, salaries teachers. We put back into the budget $14,511. The next line item is 4,200 reserved for negotiation. In prior reports, it was a budgeted line item. Now we put it as an encumbrance just to show you what is still has to be allocated. And that's $91,702. The next line item is 4064, special education teacher salaries. This line item we put back into the budget, $12,596. The next line item is 4065, special education salaries, medical therapeutic. Again, we put back into the budget $1,893. The next page 3, towards the bottom of the page, 4019, salaries ed assistants, we put back in $1,952. The next line item 4070, special education salaries ed assistants, we put back into the budget $33,628. Okay, moving on to page 4, at the top of the page, 4104, librarian salary. We added back $5,181. Line item 4023, substitute professional development. We unencumbered these funds, $2,340. Moving on to page 5, at the top of the page, 4032, supplies, computers, and devices. We spent $1,645 since last month's reporting. Towards the bottom of the page, 4037, salaries, guidance, and counseling. This line item, a reduction of $8,896 since last month's reporting. And the next line, 4081, special education salaries, guidance, we put back $10,821 since last month's reporting. So one washes out the other. Moving on to page 6, at the top of the page, 4040, salaries nurse. We put back into the budget $2,930. Moving on to page 7, line item 4075 at the top of the page, salaries cafeteria. We put back $3,547 since last month's reporting. 4048, salaries custodian. We put back $5,988 since last month's reporting. And then the middle of the page, 4060, fuel oil. We encumbered $5,000 since last month's reporting. And so we'll probably cap out before the end of the year as the price of oil has gone up in the next year. So we'll cap out, same as what we typically do every year. Line item 4062, electricity. We encumbered an additional $2,000 since last month's reporting. And that is my report. Any questions?
Okay, thank you for your thorough accounting.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to move us on to. So I'm sorry, this is a question though. Giovanna, I know in our packet, we had the piece on the vendor amounts in the description. Is that the spend down plan?
Yes, it is.
And I don't see, were we just going to address that during this agenda item?
Yes, we can.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you.
Did you want me to go over it, or does Mary Beth want to review it?
Yeah, so who would like to take over now?
I'm fine. Giovanna and I did this together, so the amount for the balance at the time that we did this was just under $108,000. And so much like we have in the past, we are prepaying preschool for FY22, and we can prepay up to 3 months worth. So that's why it comes to $25,864. We were also able to prepay the special ed transportation in full at $38,189. And the tech instructional equipment, I just want to let you know that there was a typo there. We are replacing iPads, and it's 8 bundles, but it'll be a total of 60 iPads being replaced. And that is the number there at $27,189. There will be about $6,000 or $7,000 for the buyback program. Now, when I spoke with Eileen, Bellistock, who is our tech coordinator, she said that the money reimbursement for the buyback would be happening after June 30th. So my assumption is that money would just directly go back to the town. So in essence, would be spending about $20,000. And then playground equipment, we wanted to purchase some better sustainable toys or equipment for recess time. And we want to add another camera, security camera for the lobby that is for outside use. When people come to the door, we can only basically see the side of them. We want to be able to get more of a clear picture of the face. And 10,000 for custodial supplies and 10,000 for curriculum materials. And then Giovanna had put in there what needed to be unencumbered to get to the balance remaining 0.
Thank you. Questions? All right, thank you. We will move on to summer meeting schedule. So we talked about whether or not there would be a need for summer meetings. And with town meeting coming up, I thought maybe we could just sort of like do a little conversation about the town meeting coming up. And then discuss whether or not we felt like we should meet in July or August. So, I mean, I feel like it starts with town meeting because that's when we have our town meeting on the 26th and then we vote on the 30th. And so that we will need to reorganize, correct? So we need to talk about when we would want that to happen. So that would be one. And then since we were going to have that conversation, I didn't know if there was anything else about town meeting that, you know, people thought we should do to prepare. So I'm just going to open up that discussion. Jill?
I had asked for town meeting to be on the agenda, and what I say every year is just to think ahead and be organized. Since town meeting got postponed, I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be at a wedding off Cape. In the past, we've always wanted to be sure of if there's any questions about the school, who's going to be there and who's going to get up and speak. And always short, brief, concise is good. So I think the first thing to establish is who's going to be there, and if there's any questions about the school, who's going to answer.
So I was planning on being at town meeting. I didn't know if, you know, certainly I can be prepared. We had a very successful meeting with the finance, so I do believe we're going to be getting full support. I'm happy to schedule just a quick maybe Zoom with Mary Beth beforehand, and you could fill me in with anything if you didn't think you were going to drive back for it, seeing it's on a Saturday, right? Does anybody have any opposition to that, or would anybody like to join me? Martha, were you thinking about going, or Laura, you'll be there?
I'm happy to go there. I'd love you to speak.
Okay, I have no problem speaking, but maybe we could just like sit together for a little while or something. Okay, it sounds like we have a team to go. And again, I'll just check in with Mary Beth a little bit beforehand, and she can prep me like she preps herself, and then I'll be fine. All right, so in terms of a summer meeting, I'm not sure what people think, but we could certainly have a July meeting to reorganize and maybe, you know, discuss a few little things, sort of maybe a shorter meeting, but just to sort of meet our new member. What are people thinking about a July meeting? And then maybe, I'm not sure, maybe take August off. It's just really, I would like guidance on this from Mary Beth, maybe, and Tom, because who knows what's going to be happening. Maybe we will need to be informed, but maybe So any input, Mary Beth or Tom, on that? Mary Beth?
I'm flexible for either July or August, and I didn't know if perhaps you wanted to see if Brooke was available for one or the other, so that she could be present for that. That's just one of my thoughts.
Okay. Jill?
I like the July or August. I feel like our administrators and staff and even some of us on the committee have been on overdrive, and another meeting, we could reorganize in August if we feel like August makes more sense. And I think it might actually, reorganizing can be put on pause. As far as if there's news, certainly we can get emails. If there's a crisis or emergency, certainly it would make sense to have a meeting. But if news about the school being updated can be done by email, I feel that makes a lot of sense. But I strongly feel either or, yeah, or
Well-
July or August.
Okay. Martha, will you weigh in, please?
Yes, I agree. I understand how we absolutely must have a meeting to reorganize and anything else that comes on, because we have waited, especially Jan has waited so long for this election and for this to happen. I feel our new member might also want to be on board as soon as possible. In case we have to take any kind of action before school begins, it would be good to have a full complement of members and all of that. So I weigh in, unless people have strong preferences, to try to do it in July rather than August. And
Laura, anything to add, or are you happy with the discussion?
Yeah, I mean, July or August would be fine with me. I guess I would, is 4:30 a set time? That has to be, is that correct?
I don't think so. In fact, that could be part of the discussion, maybe in July or August with our new member I mean, when I came into it, it was just 4:30. At this point, with my new job, 4:30 is kind of a struggle for me to get here. I have to actually leave early. So, and maybe that impacts other people as well. So we could take up the time of the meeting and maybe just do one more at 4:30 and then reorganize the schedule as well. Does that make sense, Laura? Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's hard for me this time of year, 4:30, but I'll make it. I just
Okay.
would like that taken up.
Okay. All right. So how about, do we feel comfortable asking Arlene to reach out to Brooke to see what she prefers, July or August, and then you can alert us? Because then I'd set up a pre-meeting with her as I do with Tom. So if you want to do that and let us know.
Okay, sounds good, yeah.
Okay, great. And if it actually makes sense to make it Laura, would a 5 o'clock start for that one be better for you, or 5:30?
It would be better. Yeah, I mean, 5:30 would be the best, but even 5 would be okay.
Okay, Martha and Jill, how are you feeling about 5:30?
As someone who's been on the school committee for a while, I think that it got that time because of administrators and their long day, it's just information. Certainly we can review, but that's my remembrance of, so our administrators don't have a super crazy long day.
Yeah.
But it definitely makes sense to revisit it if, who knows?
Okay, thank you, Jill, for that input. How about, with that said, let's see if we can go just do a 5 o'clock summer meeting, because it seems like, Laura, I think I heard you say that it's the summertime that makes a difference for you. Is that correct? Okay, so let's see.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go. Yeah.
Okay, let's see if we can do a 5 o'clock meeting with Brooke and Mary Beth. And then we'll put that on the agenda item because certainly I've already spoken to, my boss, and it's fine for me to occasionally take the time. So, Jill?
And I strongly recommend for it to be Zoom because during the summer, there's horrific traffic. And I know one year when we had it, at least an administrator coming from Brewster or whatever it was, they got into horrific traffic. And actually, so did we. So I feel like no matter what conditions are, I mean, we'll have plenty of time in the future to get together. But as far as time and frustration and stress, and we're going to have, I feel like, the worst summer ever. I mean, I was in 3 hours of traffic driving from working off Cape last week. I thought I was going to lose my mind. In June, I had never had issues before coming back on a Friday evening. But I strongly say, as much as it's nice to see each other, that during the summer with traffic and everything, it should remain Zoom.
Okay, and Arlen, I'm not sure if Rebecca's here right now. Would you just double check that is still an option?
That's fine. You guys just have to tell me what you need, what you want, and I'll set it up for you.
Okay, and I'm even thinking now of future agenda items. But it certainly is easier for me to get to a meeting on Zoom year round. So we may even want to just consider if it's an option through the town of keeping it that way. I just think
Well, I can tell you that right now the governor extended the emergency orders till September at least for Zoom meetings. So I think you guys are all set through the summer at this point, and then they're going to revisit it in September.
Okay, thank you. That's good to know. All right, I'm going to move us on to update on school committee communication. So as I said I would, I reached out to our fellow chairs and I think I CC'd you all on the email. I did hear back, and it seems that the policy committee, it seems like a place for the policy committee to do some work. There are, Arlen did some homework for us. There are a couple of policies in place that we could look at. So I know Anne decided that we could take it up. I think Arlen also, in combination with that effort, is going to put out a survey to all school committee members, just to talk about whether it's something that the joint wants to talk about as well. So just as an update, a follow-up on the conversation that we've been having, like little bits of here and there. We haven't forgotten, but it's super busy right now, and it certainly isn't on the list of the important 8 issues, I'm sure. Is it, Tom? Sorry, I like to make myself laugh. So any questions? I see Laura's hand and then Martha.
Well, I found something maybe a little funny. I was just on the Nauset school website searching around, and I clicked on school committee and on school committees, and Martha and my email were on that page, but only ours of all the school committees. So I don't know why, but I thought it was a little funny.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wanted to echo that. Laura called my attention to it, and it's not just our school committee, it's the entire school committee for the district, all 30 of us, only Laura and I. I mean,
do you find yourselves getting a lot of emails?
I did get one actually, but I did get one that I'd rather not have gotten, but it wasn't about our school committee. It was another issue, but I was the only one who received it. So
we should figure that out. Jill, something?
I thought it was a decision for nobody's, or at least in this committee, that nobody's email was going to be posted until we had a consensus and clarified some questions and got more guidance about it.
yes.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that that's what we decided at a school committee meeting. until we
And I don't
really get
know how
clear
long
on how we
it's
do
been
it
there.
and what we do. Yeah.
Okay, so is there a way that those can be taken down? Do we have somebody we can alert?
Who is the webmaster? Who's in charge of that?
Sorry, I'm trying to help Tom get back in, so. And I think he's here. So
Well,
did
it
you
would be
ask a
Eileen.
question? There you go. So that would be Eileen.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. It might be Ellie. So Martha, do you want to alert Eileen on behalf of you?
Sure.
and Lo- Okay,
I have to earn my pay. Got to do something here.
I'm going to give you some vice chair responsibilities. All right. Anything else on that school communication? All right, we're gonna talk to Jill about, or Jill's gonna talk to us about the collaborative.
There was a meeting on May 12th. There's a meeting tomorrow. Transportation remains even more challenging, especially there's summer programming that will be more active actually than in the past. Nantucket is having a horrific time. 40 years they had the same transportation manager and the person is retiring. And Nantucket had 8 drivers and now they only have 4 that, right, so everywhere it's been challenging. Anita Woods, who's been the director of the programs, is retiring after 20 years. So there were some wet eyes last time at our meeting because she's done an awesome job. And I met her when she was doing early intervention when I had a half-day kindergarten class and half-day special needs young children preschool classroom. So I met Nita way back. So I'm one of the ones that had the wet eyes, that she's retiring on the collaborative. The Waypoint program is pretty exciting. There's a 22-year-old that they had a celebration for because this particular individual is graduating, if you will, from the STAR program and is 22 years old. And that will need to be in some other supports, but this was a big moment for people on the collaborative and staff. I'm speeding through this. Sadly, the leadership program at Mass Maritime for the middle school students on the Cape, they're not going to be put up in a residence this year because of COVID concerns and all that. Mass Maritime has had their hands full this year anyway. There will be a 10-day non-residential school-based program for the those particular middle schoolers, but it's going to be pretty restrictive, since there's no residence available for these kids. It's going to be challenging for people in this part of the Cape to get over there daily. But anyway, that's still being worked out. That's good enough. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, and next up is preschool enrollment. Did everybody have time to review the report, and are there any questions? All right. And please speak up because now we have more people than I can see on my screen. So if you're raising your hand, I may not be able to see you. Just wanted to alert you of that. We have no PTA liaison report. Is that correct, Mary Beth? Okay. And behavioral health task force, Martha, anything? You're muted.
We had a meeting on May 24th. We talked again about students in crisis, and now that our schools are back full-time, There have been some notable differences. The good news is there have not been as many hospitalizations in the high school. We have had a couple of interventions with the crisis intervention team at Bay Cove. The middle school reported that the biggest problem for them is, as anybody in behavioral health is finding, is a shortage of clinicians out here. It's very, very difficult to get people referrals and to get anybody seen. And the same thing is happening for our kids in the schools. We just don't have enough staff or enough people to do it. The same thing is true on the elementary level. The kids in the middle school were very positive about coming back. Again, they too have a decrease in hospitalization, but there's still a lot of needs. When kids were going remotely or remotely part-time at the high school level, it was an issue because there was a lack of role models when they weren't seeing other students or adults, good role models as adults. And what we're seeing in the high school is people presenting in different ways. School attendance is an issue. Kids are self-isolating. I think all of us are having trouble learning how to socialize again, so it must be even more difficult for kids. That we have an after-school counselor named Shannon who comes in. Her last name is Ahern, Shannon Ahern. And most of the kids that she is seeing right now are in high school and in elementary school. And since March of 2020, when she was hired, she has seen 28 children. She's not part of the school staff. She's been hired as a consultant. We need at least 5 more, maybe 6 more of her, is my guess. And I don't know how that will happen. She is going to work through the summer. Most of the issues are around anxiety and some about school attendance. And also about kids who are impacted by substance use in their families. A lot of that going on. So we have about 10 to 12. Well, never mind, I'm just going to skip that. I'm getting into the weeds here. The question we're trying to talk about in this committee is, given how there's an increase in issues, how can we increase our behavioral health? Even if we have the money, how can we increase the staff? Even writing grants, how can we, if there are not clinicians out here? And that's something we're going to talk about. We're hoping to meet once, a small group of us during the summer, to really make a list of needs, behavioral health needs, based on the conversation that we had last week. That just about sums it up.
Thank you. Okay, Jan, anything from the Housing Task Force Committee?
Nothing new, but when we have a plan, you know, the RFP has gone out, so it's not due till the end of July. And then we will quickly try to, in just a few weeks, choose a developer from those who apply. And I'm happy to come and keep you informed or email you so you can keep people informed about what's going on in the process, okay?
Thank you. That would be.
Okay.
We'll inform you of our meeting dates, and then you get to decide whether you send me something to read or whether you'd like to pop in. Does that sound good? Okay.
Those of us with separation anxiety really appreciated the fact that Mort stayed on board and that you're staying on board in some way, Jan. Thanks.
Good. Okay, and now we're up to future agenda items. So I was noticing the funk buses the other day, and I didn't know if we wanted to revisit with Suzanne, beginning contracts, obviously not for this summer, but the summer following. So I don't know, we could just spend a couple minutes and then just amongst ourselves, and then that could move us towards contacting her and seeing what's going on. I worry that they're going to find somewhere else, and then we may lose out on a little way to make a little money. But with that said, also, I just would have meeting time and meeting structure sort of, but that will also probably rely on what the state decision is. So it may or may not become, the structure anyways might not become a future agenda item, but does anybody have anything in addition to those two that they would like to talk about in our July or August meeting?
We can always email you if something comes to mind, if it's on a timely basis.
Yep, sounds good. All right, then, how about the minutes? Do I hear a motion? Martha?
Before that, I just want to make sure that we all understand that we're waiting, I think, to hear from Arlen about whether the meeting will be in July or August. So
yeah.
We'll be waiting with bated breath, Arlen, just so you know. And I move to accept the minutes as written.
Second,
Okay, any comments? Okay, so just, I think, Arlen, can you see all of us if we raise our hands? Okay, good. Bills are paid, and I'll take a motion to adjourn and see you all in a few minutes, right?
so moved, Jill.
Great,
Second.
great. All in favor? All right, we will reconvene at the joint shortly. Thank you, Tom. Thank you,
Thank you,
Mary.
everyone. Thank
Thank
Oh,
you,
everyone.
Bye.
Bye, Tom.
Bye.
Been a great